Nice to see you again, Adrian.
Thank you.
Last time we met, we talked about your fear of loss and how it connects to your fear of commitment at this time in your life. I asked you to monitor some thoughts you might have had around specific incidents in your relationships and write down those thoughts when you felt a sense of dread about your relationship with your boyfriend, Michael. Did you have a chance to do that?
I did, and one example that I came with on the drive over here actually was when Michael made reference to the fact that I get defensive about decisions I make regarding my son, that I don't allow him to express his opinions about some of the choices that I make. And we got into a disagreement, and I remember thinking it's going to negatively affect the relationship and he's going to leave me.
Mm-hmm.
And it just led from one thing to another, and that feeling came back, that the relationship will somehow end. And it just builds together from there.
So how likely do you think that it is to be true?
Well, based just on the disagreements, probably not very likely.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, but somehow these little things just build up, and that fear feeling comes back.
So you generalize from before.
Yeah, I guess I do that a lot.
So you've lost 2 sets of parents when you were very young, and a brother, and you talked last week about several close friends who committed suicide. And so those are genuine losses that have happened to you. But what's different about this relationship?
Well, I guess that's where I get confused, because I know that this relationship is different, but the feelings of loss that come up just remind me that I don't want to have that experience again. So I know that even though this is different and I don't want to experience loss again, I'm afraid that he will abandon me like everyone else has in my life.
Yeah, you're afraid of feeling that pain again. You're saying to yourself on some deep level, every time I get close, I'll experience loss. Every time there's a problem, things will end. Is it true that every time there's a problem, things will end?
Well, not every time. I mean, he could die, but no, not every time.
Right. Relationships do end, but not every time there's a minor problem. You're generalizing, and that's one word that you can use, overgeneralizing from the past. And another word that maybe you can remember is catastrophizing from those situations as if they're the same as the current one. Do you see how you're doing this?
Yeah, because every time that there's a little problem, I get that pain, so I do.
So that pain is a cue for you, and then you start worrying. The pain comes from deeply embedded, now maladaptive thoughts that really maybe were effective at the time, but aren't anymore. There's a word for that called cognitive schema, or cognitive floor plan, that you're operating from as if it's true now what was true then. You're saying to yourself, if there's a problem, then the relationship is going to end.
Yeah.
It's so embedded that you don't catch the thoughts in the present as if they're different now, but you can still come back to them.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
With new, more adaptive thoughts, not maladaptive thoughts, but not generalizing like you're doing now or catastrophizing, what types of thoughts do you think that you could have now?
Well, I guess that when that feeling comes up, I know that I can say, that the relationship is different and that we can talk about things, and that I know that Michael's not going to leave me. I feel confident about that. Like I said, that even if he's not going to die, but that he's willing to work on things with me. So I know that all I need to do is say, that we need to work on things, and I need to learn these things.
Good. Then that's your homework for this week.
Okay, I think I can do that.
What situation with Michael might be bringing up these thoughts?
It will probably be something to do with a complaint about my son.
And what will you say to him, to yourself?
I guess I'll have to try to remember that we can talk about it, and that he's not going to leave me just because we have a disagreement. That a disagreement doesn't mean that it will lead to a loss.
Great. You're reminding yourself not to catastrophize, and that this relationship is different from all those other experiences in the past. And one thing I think it's important to remember is, how long did it take to develop this fear of loss, this floor plan?
I guess it's taken my entire lifetime.
So it's going to take some hard work to combat these embedded, we'll call them thoughts, your cognitive floor plan. It's going to have to slowly change.
I know. I see that I'm really going to have to work on this.
I have a suggestion. I'd like you to write down every incident that brings up those thoughts and then how I've combated each incident with the new thoughts that we've talked about today. Is that something that you think you can do?
I think so.
Great, and I look forward to seeing how you do it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.